Let's go, people. There's Major League Baseball. I know you love your NFL. I know you love your college football, but I love me some Major League Baseball, particularly in the month of September when everybody's eyes go over to the NFL and college football. I still have at least one of those peering at Major League Baseball. We're going to do that again tonight, Joe, from the city of brotherly love. A 1-0 game last night. Aaron Nola was the superstar, and the Phillies now have 8 games over the New York Mets in the NL East. Minaya on the mound, the lefty, hasn't had a very good season, to say the least. Ranger Suarez, very good season for the Philadelphia Phillies, as the Phillies show up here overnight, minus 140s, minus 145s. That's dipped back here to a minus 130 price and a total that's listed at 8.5. The Phillies are punchless right now at the plate, losing a couple of key batters in that lineup. But the one thing that always seems to stick out is that Phillies pitching staff on a night-to-night basis is usually pretty good. I look at this game, Joe, and I say, I don't know if we get the 9 runs. I don't know if the Phillies can win this game, but my goodness, I expect good pitching performances, at least out of Ranger Suarez. I don't think we get 9 runs tonight.
I did the math for you, Donnie. So, you know, the magic number for the Phillies to take down the National League East is 11. It's 11. Any sort of combination of win, losses, Phillies, Mets will wrap it up there. But the Mets, listen, if you're worried about the Phillies, I don't know if they can win it. I'm not sure Sean Manaea is the guy who's going to stop this bleeding here. I really not. We're talking about a guy that's got a 7.81 ERA across his last 6 starts, dating back to the beginning of August. It has not been good. Ranger Suarez, listen, he had some issues there over the last month or so, but still seems to have figured it out. 1.09 ERA in his last 4 starts. The Phils love playing at home. Yes, they're down a couple of bats, but man, do I trust the Phillies lineup more than I trust Manaea here, shutting down the Phillies. I think it's going to be all Ranger Suarez tonight.
Yeah, last 45 days. Manaea's interesting because analytics does love him. He's got a 6.21 ERA, which is horrendous, but a 3.19 Sierra. Something has to give tonight. I just look at this as one of those, again, playoff-type atmospheres, Joe. 3-2 type final score. That's why I'll bank this game on the under. Let's take a look at Detroit and New York. That's Mize versus Warren. Again, New York, not the Mets. This is the New York Yankees. A favorite at home for the Yankees, which opened up overnight around a minus 150 price. That's rising. You'll see the graphic coming up here at minus 156. Anywhere between that and 160 in the sports markets here. 8.5 as a total in this game. Mize versus Warren here. Yankees trying to still chase down those Toronto Blue Jays on their way to the playoffs. And Detroit just looking to secure seeding at this point.
Yeah, I mean, temperatures in the 60s, I believe, tonight in the Bronx. Yeah, I know. And by the way, I mean, it's wondering because the Yankees are in a battle, right? Trying to catch down the Blue Jays here. And I think it's, a 2-game lead. But the Tigers are 9 games up in their division. So they're looking at the number 1 overall seed here. Urgency in the final 2.5, 3 weeks of the season. Not a whole heck of a lot here for Detroit. Mize seems to have figured it out last time out. But, I mean, they're going to need Warren to show up here. With him, it's either a fantastic quality start or he's out by the, 4th inning, Donnie, and things have fallen off the track. So I do think an over might be in play, though, in this game. I like both offenses to get some runs.
Yeah, mid-60s here in the Bronx and a wind blowing in. It's not the greatest temperatures. Just a couple weeks ago, it's like 88 degrees, wind blowing out. We need to get back because it certainly helps the baseballs travel into the seats, which means more runs and more opportunities for those prop bets here. Houston and Toronto, 7:07 start in the 6th tonight. Garcia and Bieber, that's the Astros and the Blue Jays. A price point here opening up around a minus 150, and now we see that into the 160s at some outlets here, and a total that's listed at 8.5. Almost a similar line move to what we saw between what we saw between Detroit and the Yankees. Now we're seeing with Houston and Toronto. Biebs is on the mound here. That guy let you down last time? What happened to the Biebs last start?
Yeah, well, last couple of starts, right, Donnie? He's kind of gotten beat up here a little bit and given up some runs. I mean, Garcia also wasn't great. Also had a problem there, but Toronto has always been very, very good at home. So, and we said this, they're a different team on the road than they are at home. I think, basically one bad inning is what did Bieber in his last time out. I like Toronto at home in this spot here. I think they can get it done. And we willing to do Blue Jays get to Garcia before the Astros get to Bieber. So a first 5 for me with the Blue Jays.
Milwaukee and Texas. Patrick versus Leiter on the mound tonight. An 8:05 start from Texas here. A minus 115 or so at the opening number. We're still seeing that across the board. So call it roughly a pick'em depending on where you're shopping at. And a total that's listed at 8. Milwaukee, Texas. Now, Milwaukee's not struggling here. 5-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies for that number 1 overall seed. They're just looking to pick up wins where they can get them tonight. Cheap price, though. You trusting Milwaukee here at that price, or Texas with one last stand for them on the Major League Baseball season?
Well, I mean, they have been red hot, right? So they've won now the opener here. They're getting it done without a couple of their best players, right? Their anchor of that rotation, Eovaldi gone, Seager gone. And yet the young guys really stepping it up. And they're not that far off, right? I mean, they gained a half a game in the American League West standings there. And now just 3.5 games behind the Astros. Yeah, I think it continues here tonight. I mean, Leiter's been very good at home. They've gotten a great season out of this rookie. Patrick, it feels like we're going to get bullpen game for Milwaukee. And that bullpen's a little worrisome because they've gotten a ton of work over the last month and a half here. So I think Texas can win this game again at home.
Cincinnati and San Diego, they're going to do it again tonight. Last night, an extra innings victory for the San Diego Padres. Zach Littell is going to go for Cincinnati. How about Michael King working his way back into that rotation for the San Diego Padres? That could be key for the playoffs, and people are buying in. This price point here on that placard, you'll see it a minus 184 price. It's now up to minus 196 as a favorite for the Padres tonight. 7.5's at the opening number. 8's now creeping into the sports betting markets here as we speak. You take a look at Cincinnati, now jumped here in the wild card race by the San Francisco Giants. Time running out for the Reds. They need victories, but the same thing can be said about the Padres trying to chase down the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Right. And what are we going to get from King? And this is the problem here, Donnie, right? I mean, last time he did this, he came out. It was nice. Everyone was happy to get him back. And then what happens, Donnie? You know, a couple innings later or next start, he's scratched. He's got to go back on the IL here. So I appreciate him trying to make the comeback here, but it's impossible to lay that kind of number with a pitcher where we've been through this when he came back the last time and it didn't work. So I would lean towards the Reds here at this price because that's where all the value is right here.
Absolutely. And is there any value left in the Los Angeles Dodgers? As high yesterday as a minus 350 to minus 360 favorite. Get used to it, people. The Dodgers once again tonight with Emmett Sheehan on the mound. A minus 310 to minus 340 price, depending where you're shopping at. And the total that's listed at 9. Why is that? Because German Marquez. If Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside grabbed a bat, we could go 2 for 4 at least against German Marquez.
Yes, I mean, come on at this point. Could the Dodgers finally, should we go alternate market and lay 2 here, Donnie? What do you think? Absolutely not. I'm taking the 1.5 with Colorado. I do not trust the Dodgers laying that price against a feisty Colorado team.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the pitchers here over the past 45 days that you look at the roster and say, all right, who do you want to fade? German Marquez is dead last on my card today, Joe. 30 pitchers with at least 10 innings pitched over the past 45 days. He comes in here with a K percentage of 2.92 per 9 innings. It's all. I don't know if I've ever seen it, like maybe for 1 or 2 starts. This is 45 days that we're looking at. In ERA, Joe, of 10.95, a Sierra number, which is disaster mode at about 4.50. He's at a 7.23. His XFIP number, again, disaster mode around 5, 7.04. German can we get more than 3 runs out of the Dodgers tonight, Joe? What do you think?
What, maybe team total? Is that what you're thinking? Probably not. They'll probably get 2, Donnie, because that's exactly what the Dodgers do is $3 favorites.
Yeah, and as Joe points out, they'll get those 2. They'll get them in the bottom of the first inning, and then we'll scoreless in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and 9th innings. You know the way they get down. You know who's coming up with us next. It's Adam Kaufman. Let's have some fun, talk more Major League Baseball. Rocking and rolling on the early line. It's only a Tuesday, people. We're getting you excited for the rest of the Major League Baseball card, what to look forward to in the NFL in week number 2, and also some college football action. It's how we get down. It's the morning. We set the table, ready for the SportsGrid Network and the rest of your day. Donnie Rightside, Joe Ranieri. Now we're bringing in Adam Kaufman to brighten your day just a little bit more. Look at him. He's like a bright sunshine ray out there for the network. Look at Adam go. Love it.
Just the lighting. It's just the lighting,
Yeah.
guys. Believe me, I'm just as tired as everybody else.
Hey, absolutely. And by the way, if you are tired of blowing leads like it's the bullpen in Major League Baseball, welcome to the NFL week number 1 and week number 2. Your mind will play tricks on you, no doubt about it. Let's focus a little bit on Major League Baseball, Adam. I love baseball. You love baseball. Just because it's September, we don't have to say, baseball moves out into the playoffs. I love September baseball, and I love some of the passion that it brings, which includes the city of brotherly love last night. Struggling on the mound was Aaron Nolan for the last couple starts coming off the IL. Oh, no, they need him to fill in here for Zach Wheeler down the stretch. He was sensational last night. That game was a 1-0 final. What are we looking at tonight? Manaea's on the mound going up against Ranger Suarez. Phillies are a favorite here. What you got?
More Phillies is what I expect anyway, and I know it's kind of easy to look at it that way and say, okay, well, which one is the better team? Which one's running away with the division? Obviously, that's Philadelphia. Not to discount what's remaining in these weeks of the regular season for the Mets. New York is obviously trying desperately to hang on to a wild card spot there in the National League and prove this season is not a flop after all the offseason investments. Thing is, I drill down, as you guys know, we've talked about it before a lot, on the pitching matchups. I think that's pretty important when it comes to these late season games, especially, less so some of the randomness that you get in the middle of the season. You expect guys to lock in, better teams to be the better teams, better pitchers to be the better pitchers. And Ranger Suarez, guys, generally speaking, has been dealing. You have a Philadelphia team that's won 7 out of 10, the Mets team, obviously, that is struggling with 3 straight losses. So you just consider that, but then you put Suarez against them, and he's only allowed 1 total run over his last 3 starts, 3 in his last 4 outings. Guy is just priming himself. He's readying himself for the playoffs the way that he is pitching right now. He's throwing like he's a number 1. And Manaea on the other side, it's not been a great season for him to begin with, and it's really been rocky of late. His last 28 innings, roughly, 24 runs allowed. I mean, we're talking about a guy with an ERA flirting around 9 during that stretch. So is he capable of righting the ship here in this one against Philadelphia? I mean, never say never. He was marginally better against the Phillies a couple of weeks ago, but I just don't see it. I think it's a particularly challenging game in Philly. Maybe I'd look at him a little, give him a little more consideration if this game were happening at Citi Field, but it's not.
Yeah, well, there is another game happening involving a New York team, the Yankees, taking on Detroit. Yankees have battled back, have an opportunity to get it to catch Toronto. Detroit, they're kind of coasting at this point. Not a lot to play for with a 9-game lead and the best record in Major League Baseball. What are we getting this one in the Bronx tonight?
I don't think you want bad habits. You're right, they're coasting, but they also look like, and this is another way of saying it, they look like they're mailing it in a little bit, Joe. I mean, you don't want to get into the playoffs. We've seen this. We've seen September meltdowns out of teams where, you're so great for months on end, and then either you fall apart late and you fall short, or you're one of these teams like the Tigers that should have a big enough lead that you still get there, but all of a sudden you haven't played meaningful baseball in a month and a half, and a series begins against a motivated team that's played important games for 2 months, and you're not ready. And so I think they need to try and find a way, obviously, to avoid that, kind of reframe themselves a little bit. Now, I like the Tigers today. What I will say is I like the Tigers first 5. I'm not certain they're going to go out and win this game. And I will also tell people, if you don't know already, this is a plus money spot. Detroit plus 120 in the first 5, right around plus 140 for the full game if you were to be so bold. Casey Mize coming off the 6-2 win against the Mets. He's, allowed 1 run in that one. Is kind of trying to round himself back into where he was in late July into mid-August. Faced New York months ago. Was all the way back in April, but it went well against this Yankees team. Only allowed 1 run over 6 innings. And on the other side, Warren, the reason in part Yankees, that's one, but also Warren has pitched really well. That's why they are understandably and deservedly favorites in this one. Really one bad outing that was against the Red Sox, spanning his last several starts going back to mid-July. But I think if you're looking for a Tigers team to kind of bounce back with the guy who should be the better pitcher on the mound for at least the start of the game, take the bullpens out of it again with the first 5, it's an attractive plus money opportunity.
I like this next game here that we're going to talk about. It's the Cubs and the Atlanta Braves. And you would say, okay, Horton versus Strider. Oh, Big pitching mismatch here. Man, Atlanta's got to be the right side here. Hold your horses, because over the past 45 days, you look at Cade Horton. I don't love ERA as a statistic, but .77, yeah, that sticks out. You take a look at Strider. Just look at his ERA, 7.75 in that same time frame, and he's terrible analytically here. Horton versus Strider, it's roughly a pick 'em. Strider should dominate. I don't know about that.
Well, you just said the key words to me. It's roughly a pick 'em. And so at that point in time, you know, you're looking at which pitcher is better, has been better, which team should have the more favorable matchup. Yes, it's in Atlanta, so that's not ideal, but the fact of the matter is we know the Cubs team can hit, and you couple that with obviously what Horton has done, as you said, the sub-1 ERA going back a while at this point. 11 starts. 11 starts I'm looking at it. He is the ERA that is in that vicinity of 1. That includes 5 innings of no-hit ball against the Braves. Oh, by the way, only last week. So this is a team that he is very familiar with. There's not going to have to be too much studying other than looking back at some of the video and seeing all the different things that he had going well and all the different ways that he was fooling these hitters. You know, I think if you were looking at this and saying, boy, I mean, he's like Cade Horton in this game is a -150 favorite. Okay, you know, maybe you reassess and you don't want to lay the juice. You're looking to parlay it with something. But when you can get them at -106 in the first 5, again, lean in on the starting pitcher and not worry about the bullpen screwing it up. That's where I'd want to go.
Absolutely. Quick one here on San Francisco and Arizona. The bats have come alive for the Giants, and they're closing in on maybe a wild card spot. What are you digging here quickly between the Giants and the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, this one's just kind of a gut feel for me, and I like the Giants' money line. You could do first 5 a little more juice or take the full game, which I'll do at -138. Fact of the matter is Zach Gallen has been really good for the Diamondbacks. So it's, again, this is just sort of matching it up with, all right, San Francisco's won 7 out of 10. Arizona's kind of mailing it in. Look for San Francisco to stay hot.
We're going to send you out tonight, Joe, with security around you so nobody can rob you again tonight. Where are we going?
Well, you know, hopefully you listened and you had that open-ended teaser backing the Bears at +7.5, because you can still have an opportunity this week. But tonight I'm going back to Major League Baseball, and I'm going to go to Atlanta, and I'm going to look at this first 5 battle between Spencer Strider for Atlanta and Horton for Chicago. Now, listen. Yes, you went over the numbers. Horton has been absolutely crazy, right? 1.23 ERA is the last 11 starts, 54 strikeouts, 58 2/3 innings. The kid has been dealing. Now, Spencer Strider is interesting to me because, yes, he's had a terrible year coming back off of injury. But he was supposed to start on Sunday, and Atlanta once again moved him back a couple of days so he could have some rest. And my question is, Donnie, why? Like, the season's over for Atlanta here. Why are we rolling him back out? Unless you're giving him an opportunity to work on some things and figure some things out. The bottom line is the Cubs are not destroying teams offensively. No Kyle Tucker still in here. Armstrong still questionable here. And Atlanta's not hitting the ball either. I mean, Acuna's in a total funk. They have not been able. I mean, just look at what happened there over the weekend when Seattle absolutely destroyed them. They only scored 4 last night thanks to 2 home runs. I think the first 5 under 4.5 is the way to look at this one, Donnie. I think Strider is pitching, and they are treating him like they got something to show. They got something to prove. So I'm going to go the under in the first 5 here.
All right, let's go under there for me. I'm going to keep it in Major League Baseball. And the theme of the show is pick a Major League Baseball game and stay under the total. And that's what I'm going to do in Philadelphia when the Mets take on the Philadelphia Phillies. A 1-0 performance last night. Now, there's no real correlation to say, okay, that means they're going to be lower scoring tonight. But 2 lefties on the mound in a playoff type of atmosphere here. The Phillies down a couple of bats. Ranger Suarez has really bounced back well. And you want to say, like, well, Donnie, show him an eye. You can't really trust him all that much. A 6.21 ERA over the past 45 days. His analytical numbers, including Sierra, are 3.19. It's not a great Phillies offense right now. Ranger Suarez should pitch well. 2 decent bullpens. I don't see this game getting 9 runs. We're going under the total, Joe, in Philadelphia at 8.5 for yet another Major League Baseball victory. How's that sound?
Love it. Love it. I like the under there, too. Playoff atmosphere and 2 lefties, and that's the worst split for both the Mets and Philadelphia. They don't hit lefties as good as they hit righties.